So I started my journey in fall semester 2020. So I started virtually. I wasn't on campus for my first semester. Yes, there have been drawbacks because I haven't obviously gotten the entire package of the campus life, interacting with students and all of that. Having said that, considering, I think it has been great. It's been an experience. It is that for surely I will say an extremely unique during the pandemic, and I was there during the for the spring semester. So it has been a journey. I will say yes, like I said, I have missed out on things, but I feel like I haven't missed out on too much. The only thing I have missed out on is the interaction, like the physical interaction. But other than that, opportunities to learn and connect wise, I don't think there's too much that I've missed out on. Congratulations to anyone who's flying and who's got their admits and who are ready to go. Secondly, I so in the US, things are settling down right now. It's not as bad as it is in India. It is settling down. So campuses, most of them are already open and running. And my campus, our college, is all set to open fully for traditional classes for the fall semester. So I feel like, you guys are good to go. You can go ahead. Obviously, yes, be safe when you're traveling, mask up, be careful, and all of that. But I feel like you guys are in going actually in the right time, because this is kind of like, the campuses have seen both sides. They have done pandemic, they have gone through the pandemic. So they're ready for anything now. They've worked through it, they're ready. And now you're going back, you will be in in-person classes, at least for most universities, if I'm not wrong, because most places are open. So you're good to go. I think, despite your personal preferences to travel in such a time, uh, universities wise, campus and education wise, you're fine, you're good to go. uh, Job wise, yes, there has been a little bit, of hiccup because of the pandemic. But I think by the time you're done with your masters, you would have encountered enough of opportunities for, be it on campus jobs or summer internships. And believe me, you'll get a lot of guidance from your campuses, respective your professors, your friends, your seniors. You'll have a lot of help. So you will have time to work through that and, make yourself ready for when you have to hit the job market. So this is actually a great time for you all to go. Finance from okay, if you do it in the US, I feel like how finance works in the US and how the number of firms that are there in US, and just because you have all these, there's Wall Street and all these big firms are based in the US, so you're kind of a little closer to the how can I put this? You're kind of, you have more access to these big companies, easier access. Um, but I mean, it's not very different, but kind of it is. You have a little bit of an advantage. I would like to say that I walked into masters without too much of work experience. I didn't have much. And also, I was fairly new to the finance industry, the finance world. I was still, the only time I'd done finance was in my undergrad for the final year when we take our electives. That was it. I didn't know much. So in the US, when I came for my master's, I actually learned quite a lot because I hadn't done that much of research. I'll admit it. But when I got into my masters and started doing my coursework, and even outside of coursework, meeting people, professors, and everything. Um, what I learned is that so right now the finance industry is they expect the incoming candidates to have some sort of technical know-how with regards to languages like R and Python, and Excel now is just like a basic, like that's not used that much. So that's one thing that I learned, that that kind of technical or programming language know-how is going to help you a lot. So because you guys are still starting out, and you're or you have started out, or you're thinking of getting into it, maybe you guys can prep yourself a little bit with the tech or the programming side, because I personally hate it. I hate computers and the language. So it took me a while to like get used to that, but it is an industry standard right now. So that's a small tip. I don't know if I answered the question like how you guys wanted me to, but that's all I can say. Right, percent of the job search in the US, it goes based off of networking. If your networking game is on, then your opportunities are going to probably even double up. So a lot of the job finding, and even sometimes staying on the job, works on the basis of networking in the US. So that's also something you guys can keep in mind. Up your introverts can maybe like find like tips to just up your game outside and then go back to being introverts later. That it's all coming back to me. The trauma of waiting for an appointment was like crazy. So I had to do this during my semester because I did my first semester virtually. So I think mid semester I had to start looking for appointments. I don't know if some of you might know, some of you might not. So the visa appointments for the slots have obviously reduced. It's like supply is super low and demand is like triple or something. It's crazy. There are a lot of students that have been held back because of the pandemic. So there are a lot of people that try to go, and it's like a fish market. As soon as a slot opens up, everybody pounces. It's crazy. So there's a group, multiple groups actually on Telegram, and these are groups of students like us, or mostly students. I don't think I've come across people waiting for work visas because they weren't allowing, I think, work visas. But yeah, it's mostly students. To the number of times you can log in to the portal to check for the availability of appointment. And if you, I think it's 3 times, and if you log in more than 3 times, your account gets locked. So the students on the group were very collaborative, if that's the right word to use. So they would log in if somebody logged on at a particular time, and no appointments were available, they would just put it on the group so somebody else wouldn't waste their login. So for me, this went on for like a few weeks. I should say. I mean, people would log in the middle of the night at like 2 a.m. and things like that. So that was pretty traumatic. But once I got the appointment, I was lucky enough. I got it within, I think, 2 weeks' time, 2, 3 weeks. After that, it was pretty smooth. With the documents, I'd say have your basics, your I-20, your DS 160. There's something called the SEVIS-P. So you need to have a receipt of that. And what else? Obviously, your financials. Don't go overboard. Have them with you because they don't really ask in the interview until they get like a doubt or they want to see it specifically. So documents wise, that's that. Have the basic requirements. Don't go overboard. Some people look for, they ask you for property documents and things like proof for I don't know what all that's about, but have the basics. Don't go overboard. You don't need your 10th marks card. I don't think you'll need your 10th or like your, first standard. You won't need that. But you obviously you cannot be too prepared. If you feel like you need to carry that, have it with you. Questions wise, for me, one thing I will say, it's different for each candidate. It's because I don't know, it's different. But there are set of general questions that they have asked everybody I have come across. One is they'll ask you about your course. You need to have a clear idea of what your course is about and definitely what your plans are after. So they're looking for strong ties back to your home country, and they want to make sure that you're just not going to like pack up and stay in their country forever. They want to make sure you're going to come back. So have be sure to, I mean, this is the advice that I got, so I'm just passing it on. I'm not sure if this is the this is what it is, but I was told that don't tell them that you want to stay back. If you tell them that you want to stay back there, then they'll probably be like, no, we can't let you stay. So just make sure you have strong ties back home. And yeah, make sure you have a clear idea of what your course is and what you want to do with the course. Like after you graduate, what your plans are. Have a clear idea, because for me, they asked me to explain it like I was explaining to my granny. Like if you had to explain it to your granny, how would you? So that apart from that, they'll just ask you if you've traveled to the US before, and who's financing your study, which college, etc., etc. Just the basics. So make sure your financials match in every document, and your other details as well. Your DS 160, your I-20 especially, it should kind of match. They shouldn't have a reason to like cross check, because they have only about like 5 minutes per candidate in every interview they take. They don't have the time to sit and cross check with all the documents you have, right? They're not going to do that. So just make sure that it's all correct and it matches, so you don't have to waste time and risk you getting the interview. But I feel like for me, the most stressful part was getting the appointment. After I got the appointment, it was actually a breeze. It went pretty easily. I went to the Chennai consulate and it was very easy. It got over. I was in and out in like 20 minutes for the biometrics and the next day interview. So don't worry. Just maybe worry about the appointment part. That's just like luck. I don't know. I don't have any tips. Just stay on your fingers, I guess. I don't know. But otherwise, you guys are chill. Don't worry about it. Right, I did get into one other university. I got into University of Miami with a scholarship. For me, it was a personal choice. Okay, one thing was I did ask around, and UTD had slightly more opportunities than University of Miami, learning opportunities and even career wise. Apart from that, it was personal reason. I have family in Miami, and the university is like 30 minutes away from them. So for me, it was basically going to be like I was in Bangalore. There was no, feel. There was not going to be a feel of being away from home. And my best friend went to UTD, and she stays in Dallas. So there was that. And about the scholarship, so University of Miami didn't have on-campus housing, and I had to pick off-campus housing, which was pretty expensive. And the area around the campus to stay off-campus is not wasn't entirely safe, and my parents were uncomfortable with that. So I was kind of the scholarship money was going to go away with the housings. So it kind of came back to being the same with UTD and University of Miami. And UTD was always my first priority. So UTD it was. I think one suggestion I'd give y'all is start as early as possible. So if you are sure that you want to travel for fall 2022, right now, I think if you start prepare, I mean, now it's probably too late for fall 2021 unless you're already preparing. But one thing I would say GMAT wise is start as early as you can. The more time you have, the earlier you start, that means the more time you have to get a hang of, how the exam works, how the questioning works, and also if you're doing it with Score Leap, to get a better hang of, the rules and, all these tricks that Kalyan will give you. It's very, you know, you you'll get a good, you'll do it justice. That's what that's a good way of putting it. You'll do it justice when you have more time to practice than when you do it in a hurry. um Admissions wise, so I took up the application assistance with Scoreleap. So the essays and LOR I didn't have to worry about too much because I had the assistance. One thing I would want to say to you guys is, please research your colleges. Whichever colleges you pick, or you get a list of whatever it is, the 5 colleges, whatever you guys want to do, please research the colleges. First, make like a list of your priorities and what you are looking to get from your master's degree, whatever it is. Try not to compare it with, it can get overwhelming. I will tell you that the whole process, from the time you decide to even sometimes after you get admission, I know it is overwhelming. It can be overwhelming. So don't worry about it. Everybody is on the same boat. Nobody's got it figured out. So when you do pick your colleges, please do your research, and please have a clear idea of, if the colleges that you are picking or choosing are in line with your goals and requirements, whatever they may be. Speak to people, as many people as you can. Ask questions. Please ask questions. Do not shy away. You may think it's a dumb question, but would you rather, have people think it's a dumb question for 2 seconds than struggle with it for the next 2 months or something? Why would you want to do that? Just ask the question. It doesn't matter how dumb it is. Ask questions, connect with people from your college, your alumni. You can find them on LinkedIn. So yeah, this, and also keep an eye out for info sessions. A lot of these colleges have information sessions right before they take students into admission, so you can directly speak to college, the heads of department and the program directors and all of those people if you have any particular questions about, placements and their curriculum or anything like that. So yeah, this is all I think I can think of right. A lot of our plans and, the processes that we had thought out before and all of that. But one thing that I see, and I'm extremely, like, in awe, and I find it extremely beautiful that we as people collectively have found a way to get through that, make the most of it. And we haven't we have found ways, around it. I mean, what we're doing right now, if we're having this whole event online because we can't do it in person. So we found our way around that problem. And what better time than now that we have learned that life is short. We have understood that life is short and we have to do the things that, we want to do. So going abroad and studying has been my dream since I was in school. And if I had probably stayed down with the pandemic or something, it probably wouldn't have happened. Now I'm 1 year into my master's, and I couldn't be more grateful. Yes, it's not the normal journey, and like you said, it has its challenges and hurdles. And but what journey doesn't have challenges and hurdles? Every journey has challenges and hurdles, and these are just different ones. That's it. So I would say, don't let the pandemic, you know stop you from living your dream. um, Yes, please be safe. Please take care of your health. Don't risk that. Make sure you're healthy and take care of all the precautions and everything. But don't let it stop you entirely. If you find an opportunity, please go ahead, grab it, exploit it. Please exploit it. Don't sit down and waste the opportunity. You will probably regret it sometime later. So go ahead, get your master's, go study, live the life.